Dollar Tree is fully stocked with a wide selection of 2024 calendars, and each one has 12 colorful images that can be used for a wide variety of creative projects. In today's video, we'll explore some of those ideas. Thanks for joining me on my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Lisa, and now let's dive into our first project. From the Farm Life calendar, you'll find this vibrant freedom page, and it has a nice red truck that's about the same size as the galvanized truck Dollar Tree sells. Remove the jute twine and the tags and line it up with the picture. Then simply trace around the image. Tracing the outline around the truck will then enable you to cut it out. But once you have it broadly cut out, you'll then want to cut it very closely to the truck outline to eliminate any of the white background. I applied a thin coat of the Mod Podge matte using a sponge brush to the back side of the image. Once I had a nice even layer, I placed that onto the galvanized metal truck. Apply your image to the front of the metal truck to allow those raised areas to show through the paper and give it nice dimensionality and visual interest. Be sure to smooth it as much as possible to eliminate any wrinkles or air pockets. Then flip it over and using some hot glue, put some hot glue on the back side and attach a square of the floral foam, which you can also find at Dollar Tree. Once you've adhered the floral foam to the back side, you'll want to take your second galvanized truck. In this case, I used the one that had the detailed design on it. That made for a prettier interior because that part will somewhat show as we adhere it to the other side of the floral foam. With the two trucks attached, it's very stable and stands nicely and is ready to be filled with an abundance of lovely faux florals. Dollar Tree has beautiful fall color palette available now in the stores, but I decided to do this one in red, white, and blue. So I'm using mostly stems that I purchased at the Dollar Tree. I did buy one long stem of wisteria from Hobby Lobby, but the rest is all Dollar Tree. As I insert the flowers, I'm keeping in mind that very simple rule that helps to guide a nice arrangement, that you need filler, thriller, and spiller. The filler fills in the arrangement. The spiller are usually those stems that cascade and spill outside of your vase or container. And the thriller are those showier, taller stems. I'm trying to keep that in mind as I design this arrangement. This is such a fun, easy project, and you can use it in a wide range of ways. Here I have it as a centerpiece on top of some of the wide mesh ribbon that I got from Dollar Tree. The next option is to put it on top of a plate, which I'll show you now. Here I have a Dollar Tree plate along with a piece of fabric. This is one of the two bandanas that you get in a package of two for $1.25. I'm cutting out a square that's larger than the plate. Next, I'll take some Mod Podge matte and apply it in a smooth, even layer to the back side of the plate. Then I'll simply apply the fabric upside down so that the image will show through the front of the glass plate. A sponge brush works really well for applying the Mod Podge and allows you to cover the surface very quickly and easily. Be sure you cover all surfaces so that you have a nice even layer. And as you go, then just fold the fabric over and smooth it with your hands to eliminate any wrinkles or folds. It really works out so easily, and this particular bandana fabric works out great. I've used this fabric also to make some decorative pillows that you can see in the overlay. Now that it's applied, I'm using a sponge brush to continue to apply Mod Podge to the back side. That will give it a nice sealed finish, and soon it will dry very stiff and hard to the touch. At that point, you'll be able to use your scissors and cut around the edges to make a smooth, even outline. Here you can see that I'm just giving it a nice overcoat of the Mod Podge to make sure that it's fully covered. And when I flip it over, you'll see it's going to be very pretty. The Mod Podge will dry clear. After it dries thoroughly, it will be easy to cut the fabric all around the outline of the plate. And now, before we do our next calendar project, I want to show you a really fun, easy to do living terrarium miniature garden. You'll need one of the small glass bowl vases from Dollar Tree, along with a set of the Fairy Garden miniatures. I chose this group of 3. There are a wide variety from which to choose. You'll want to put some Spanish moss into the bottom of the vase, and then arrange your little miniatures. I ended up using a drop of hot glue on the bottom of each to hold them in place. Then take a living air plant and set it inside. They need to be watered just once a week, upside down, as you could see I was doing in the jar at the beginning of the project. Inside, you'll have a magical little world, and you can see one of the items is a beehive. So in order to carry through that theme, I'm using some little miniature wooden self-adhesive bees that I purchased from Amazon. You can sometimes also find those at Dollar Tree. You can see the little package gives you a lot of bees, and I'm just adhering them to the outside of the glass vase. I'm putting several on the outside, a few along the rim, and I'll also put a few on the actual leaves. You can see what a charming little decorative vase this creates. And since these air plants are so easy to maintain, you can simply remove them when they need watering and set them back inside. To elevate it and make it into a little pedestal terrarium, all you have to do is glue it to the bottom of one of the Dollar Tree glass candle holders. And now I think I've saved the best for last. This is one of my favorites. I purchased this wooden plaque from the Dollar Tree Plus store for $5. You can tell it has a much thicker, heavier weight to it. You could always use a different piece of wood, but I just found this and liked it, and it had the hanging cord attached. So all you need to do for this project is take one of the wall adhesive wallpaper sheets from the Dollar Tree. I chose this one because it reminded me of barn wood. I traced around it, and now I'm simply cutting the outline, but going about a 1/4 inch outside of the line that I drew. That will allow me to adhere it to the wooden plaque. And you'll see that as we adhere it, there will be a little bit of overhang that'll work beautifully to fold around. I'm just removing now the paper backing, which comes off really easily. There's also a little strip that's a pull strip. And then you just lay it down over top of the wood. It is so easy to do, and you can feel with your fingers how to center it because you'll feel that edge. Then just smooth it out. There's no wrinkles or bubbles to worry about. It makes a really smooth surface. You'll see how it feels as though you have an instant transformation. Now I'm just using my sanding block to gently go around the edges. It'll fold that paper nicely around there. Now I'm lining up one of the calendar sheets from the Farm Life calendar. I thought this cow was so cheerful and fun. And I'm lining it up because you'll see we're going to have to do a little bit of trimming to make it fit. By turning it upside down, I get a sense of where I need to draw a line to make that trim line. And it's very easy to do. The line is curved, so the best thing to do is just to take a pen and kind of give yourself a general guide by going around that outline. That will allow you to trim it and have it fit just beautifully. Here you can see that I'm just trimming along that line and just going around the curves, and it should fit really well. The top part will also need to be trimmed just above where it says Farm Life. Now that I have the picture trimmed to fit, I'm just going to run a thin line of hot glue up along that outer edge. I'm going to do that on both sides, and then we'll put it into position. As I'm placing it down, I'm just going to smooth it with my fingers, making sure that it adheres on those outer edges. Those will be covered up with some ribbon. Now you can see that I'm using my sanding block. You want to do it rather gently and in a downward motion because you don't want to tear the image, but you do want to get a nice edge that's cohesive with the background on which it adheres. Using that sanding block in a downward motion, you want to do the entire border of the bottom of the image, and then you'll want to do the same thing up at the top of the image along where it says Farm Life. You'll see it helps to make that line very clean and cohesive. The next step is to take the cover of that Farm Life calendar and cut out the face of the cow. It's much thicker, and by using that on top of the existing image, you can give it so much more presence and dimension. You can see, you can bring the ears forward, and the outline of what it's against creates kind of a shadowing effect. You'll want to apply just a very small amount of hot glue to some of those outer edges, the little corners and the base, certainly not the ears because we want to bring those forward. You can see that by adding this second layer, the cow comes to life against that background. The little ears come forward and the background shadow adds such a nice quality. I just love this project, and we have a couple more embellishments that will make it even more charming. Here I have one of the embellishments from Totally Dazzled. I'm using a drop of hot glue on the back of that little cowboy hat and just putting it up at the top at an angle in between the words farm and life. You could put any other little embellishment up there if you choose. Even a small flower would be charming if you don't have a jeweled embellishment. Now I'm going to take some of this ribbon from Dollar Tree. This is that pretty burlap and lace ribbon, but because it's so wide and I don't want to cover up all of the wood design, I'm going to take it and just go right up through the center line and make it half as wide as it actually is. That'll give us 2 pieces out of that length. It's very easy to cut because there's actually a thread line in the center that can be your guide as you go through with the scissors. Now that I have a good length, I'm just going to cut it, and then all we have to do is to go around the frame, and we'll hot glue it along the back in 2 places. That'll hold it right in place. You can see that a drop of hot glue on the top and bottom really holds it perfectly in place and just decorates that outer edge in a final beautiful way. I'm so pleased with this project. I think you'll love making this. And now that our plate is dry and trimmed, I'll show you another way you can display the red truck. The decorative plate, which I made for less than $2, forms a really charming base to hold the red truck display. I had some gold star scatter that I had in my stash. You can also find the stars in the red, white, and blue colors. I hope you've enjoyed these projects. Please do comment and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you again, and I have a new video upcoming in the next few days. Until then, take care and God bless.